everyone. How are you today? If you want, you can put your mics on, because at some point I'm going to be asking questions, and I'd love some feedback from you and some information. We're going to have a little back and forth here. So, well, I guess we should get started by saying Happy New Year. So I believe all of us are so happy that we are moving on to a fresh new year. And with that, we have new beginnings, right? So everybody needs a new beginning. And I believe the best way to make the most of that new beginning is for our future is to simplify. So we want to be more organized so that we are uncomplicated and have a simple environment around us. This way, it's just easier to handle anything that's thrown our way, right? So hiccups in life, just like as I talk, are going to happen. It's inevitable. But if you're organized and if your life is simple and your environment, your home, your office, those hiccups will be so much more easier to maneuver around. And they won't seem so hard, and life won't seem like such a struggle. And I know for most of us, the last year has seemed like a really big struggle, right? Especially with everybody being quarantined more, being home more, things pile up, you're unmotivated, you just, and now it's winter, and it's just so hard to get yourself motivated and to start organizing things and tackling projects. And some of the biggest problem that most people tell me is I don't know how to start. I don't know what the first step is. I don't know where to begin. I say, you know, what do you want to do in your house? They say, I want to do everything. I hate everything in my house. I want to tear it down. I want to take a match to it. They want to do anything. They just cannot stand it anymore. So what we're going to do today, what I would like to do is for everyone to have a notebook and a pen or paper and pencil, whatever you need, because we're going to take a moment. This is going to be a little bit of an exercise that we're going to do. So I want to help you set your goals, and we're going to take it from there. So if you want to unmute for just a quick moment and let me know if you're ready. Otherwise, I'll wait for you to get pens and paper. Okay, Donna, good. I'm glad you're there. All right. This is going to be fun because I at some point want you to unmute your microphones, because what I want is I want this to really be a back and forth. I want you to get something out of this. And it's funny because a lot of you are going to have the same questions. You know, we all want the same similar things in our house. We all have the same, you know, potholes in our house of things that happen and clutter that happens, whether it's a closet, an unorganized kitchen, an entryway, bedroom closets, basement, attics, extra bedrooms, right? And any place where there is space that is being unused, we tend to just throw things and put things there, and we'll do it later and we'll get to it. And, you know, sometimes it's a point of time management. You do have a space for it already, but you just don't have time to get it to that space. And other times it's about, you know, just not having the right system in place that's easy enough for you. So we're going to go through all of that today. So, all right. So in order to do this, what I want you to do is the number one thing we're going to write down, I'm assuming everybody's kind of ready, is, so you're obviously joining this class today because there is something that is annoying you so much in your home and you want to organize it. There's something that is just always annoying you, and you just have to, like, you're always tripping on it or bumping into it, or it's piling up where someone else in your house is complaining about it, right? So that's what we want to tackle. So the number one thing we're going to do is we're going to set the goals and set the theme for your home, right? So figure out what that goal is. I mean, the overall goal could be, yes, I want to simplify, I want to organize, I want it to look good. If someone comes over without a mask on someday, I want everything to look nice and organized. But think about your goals right this moment. We all want a beautiful, organized house. That's just would be a dream all the time. But what do you really need to do? Are you not getting out of the house on time? When you go to bed, is your mind constantly spinning, thinking of all the things you have to do? Are your kids' rooms always a mess? Is your office papers everywhere? What is your goal? Okay. So we want to name that one thing. Let's talk about one room, one corner in your house, one space. We're going to start with the home, right? One space that you are just annoyed by. You can't stand it, and just would you would rather avoid it. And that happens a lot with people, is we wind up avoiding the spots that really need our care. And when we do that, when we avoid those spots that need care, we're also avoiding it in our brain. So they say, I'm sure you've all heard it, that when your home, your environment mimics how you think. It mimics your emotions. So if you have a cluttered home, you're probably highly emotional and you could cry at any minute, right? If your office, and you work out of your home office, if it is always a disaster and there's no system to it, you're probably not that happy in your job. If you constantly have papers cluttering up in your kitchen, you probably don't like to cook. Like there's reasons why we have clutter in certain pockets of our home and in our life. And sometimes it's just we have no time, we're spread too thin. That is also huge. But it's really a mental game, organizing. It's not easy. It's easy to organize, but it's not easy to always figure out those systems. So we're going to figure that out by just taking one space in your home. All right, just one. So now that you've thought of something that you are avoiding all the time, something that annoys you all the time, now I want you to think, we're going to switch gears. And I want you to now name something that you love in your home. Do you love the way that your spice rack is organized? Do you love the color coding of something in your home? Is there a certain color that jumps out at you? Is there, maybe it's, you open up something in your bathroom and you like the way it hangs or holds things, or maybe it's your jewelry and you like the organized box. Could just be one little thing, because we all have the power in us to be organized. You do not have to be born this way. You don't have to say, oh, I'm not a Virgo, I don't know how to organize. It's not that way. Everybody, you just need the right tools, right? So now I want you to keep in mind the way that you like things, right? Whether it's the colors, the way, even if you've been somewhere else and you've gone to a store and you've seen a display and it immediately fills you with something calming, that right there should trigger you to know that that's something you need in your life. We need to visually see things and calm down, right? If we're calm, we can handle anything. If we see things and they're all over the place and it's all cluttered, it's very confusing to us. Our minds are all over and we just walk away from it. And that's what gets the anxiety all the way up to here. All right. So now that you have something in your mind that makes you happy, and you have something in your mind that you want to tackle, right? Something that's really bothering you. Now we're going to put those two things together. So now a lot of people say they don't know where to start in their home. So you're going to take that one spot that you are thinking of. Let's just say it is a front coat closet, and it's got everything in there, everything you can imagine. It has old hockey equipment, broken umbrellas. It has coats that don't fit anymore. It has coats that you have no idea who fits into them or whose they are. It has so much stuff in there. And every time you need an umbrella, you can't find it. It is packed, it is buried, you're not sure where it is, and you're in a rush to get out the door. So you buy a new umbrella, or you're completely soaking wet, or, there's just, you're always, if you find yourself buying new things to replace the things you can't find, that's when you know we need to address that spot in your home. All right. If you're always looking for charging cords, right, to charge your phone, charge your laptop, whatever it is, right? Always looking for charging cords, losing them constantly. You obviously don't have a spot to corral them, right? I have one spot in my home, and it holds every cord. It holds the charging heads. It holds it. Now, is it all spun up perfectly and beautifully? No, it is not. And I'm an organizer. It should be. I don't have the time for that. So if it's not going in a magazine shoot, I'm not doing that, right? I'm practical. I'm realistic. I need to be able to function. But if I need a charging cord, I know where it is. If someone else in my house needs one and they call me, Mom, I need a charging cord, you know where they are, and they go right to it and they find it every time. If I see them laying around the house, I pick them up and I throw them in that one drawer. And that drawer is only dedicated, small, tiny little drawer, and it's dedicated just for charging cords because I know where they are at all times. So that's what we need to do. We need to find out what's all over the place and how to corral them in the right spot that's convenient for you, right? So I have my little spot with my charging cords with my little box. That's actually in a space close to the front door of the house. And the reason that is because I need to get out of here and I want to grab a charging cord because I'm going to a meeting. I'm going on the train. I'm going to take a car ride. I'm going to see a client. I want to make sure maybe I took one out of my handbag. Maybe I left one somewhere. That happens too to all of us. And the same with the kids. They're running somewhere. They need to make sure, take a charging cord. I want to make sure your phone's charged at all times. So that's our best spot for those cords. It's not buried deep in my office because my office is out of the way and no one goes in my office but me. So why would I put all those charging cords there? It needs to be accessible to the whole family. So these are the kind of things that you need to think about when you are organizing the space that you want to do. Who's going to be accessing it? Is it you? Is it two people in your family? Everyone in your family? You know, so you have to kind of take a step away and you have to pretend you're the organizer. You're going to come in and say, all right, so what's the problem here? Who needs to be here? What are we doing? All right, so now I'm going to walk you through the process of how we do this. So we've created our goals, right? We've figured out what's the most frustrating spot. I'm going to say it's a front closet for right now, just because it's quicker and easier for this class. But you're going to think about what is it for you? Can you not find your keys? Is it messy closets? Is surface in your home? What do you walk by and you want to go like this too? You don't want to see it. That's the spot you start. It's hard, but once you get your rhythm, so easy. It flows great and it feels good. Also, this is a huge tip. Be careful not to think that everything is a priority. Like I said, people think too big when I say, well, what frustrates you in your house? And they say everything. And I said, no, we gotta scale it down, scale it down. You take one step on a ladder at a time. You need to do this one room at a time, one space at a time. Don't try to tackle it all at once because you can't. There's only one you, right? All right, so we're gonna create, so what you need to do, the first thing you have to do is you need to list the supplies you're going to need to tackle that space. All right. So to tackle that space, what do we need? If I'm doing a coat closet, I'm going to take a look at it and I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to need a couple of garbage bags, right? I'm going to need garbage bags, Post-its, and a marker. That's it. That's all I need. Marker, Post-its, garbage bag. For now, that's all I need. Sometimes I like to take extra things. I need things to sort into sometimes, and sometimes I just sort into piles on the floor. That's what the Post-its come in handy for. Do you remember what pile's what? Because how many times have we done a donation pile and something like a dry clean pile? And now you've confused which pile's which. I need to label it. I am a visual person. Most of us are. Labeling helps. So temporary labels, Post-its, maybe tape if you need to tape it down somewhere, but that's all you need. And a garbage bag, because some things are going to get thrown out and then some things are going to maybe be donated. So in this particular case with a front closet, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a donation bag, and on the bag, I write a Post-it, write donation, tape it to the bag, and that's it. And that sits in one corner. In the opposite corner, trash. I'm not even going to label it. I know it's trash. That's it. So also, when you're doing this, the first thing you do is not buy bins. Do not buy bins. Do not buy anything for the space yet, because we don't know what we're putting back yet, right? We need to figure out what kind of things we have left at the end. So the last step is to buy pretty bins. Because how many of you out there have went into Staples, went into Target, went online, a Crate and Barrel, whatever it may be, the Container Store, which is so much fun. You've gone there, you found something great, it's gonna work. You get home and it doesn't fit, right? You didn't measure it, or you thought it would, it wouldn't, or it won't hold everything, or it's too big, whatever it may be. It wasn't the right fit. It's because we need to see how much we have of something, and we need to measure our space, our shelving space, our height, things like that. It seems annoying, but for 5 minutes of your time to do that, you're going to get the right fit every time, and you're going to be so much happier. And then you won't have a collection of bins. I wish I could hear how many of you right now have a collection of different organizing products at home, right? And you might be laughing to yourself right now, because all of us have them. I have them. I have them because I use them with clients. I have them because my situation changes, right? From year to year, we're in a new year. What we're going to do this year is going to be different from last year, and the same the year before that. Our kids are going to grow. People are going to get older. Things are going to happen. I see that someone's saying that Nancy's saying she has them. Yep, Nancy, I'm with you. I have them too. And it's because what worked for at one time in your life, when you reorganize it, it might not work that way anymore, but that's okay, because it's good to have some bins. When I work with a client, the first thing I do before I go out and buy bins for them or suggest anything, I say, show me what you got, because I know they have them, and why spend more money, right? So, all right. So last thing you're going to do is buy those bins. All right. Now, what you're going to do for your next step is do an easy sort. That's all you're going to do. You're going to sort your stuff into piles. You can, like I said, you can use boxes to sort into. If you have some extra Amazon boxes or whatever, you can use laundry bins. They're always very handy. Empty some laundry bins, put them out, put a Post-it on it. This is going back in the closet. This is, other people's stuff, right? That you want to give back to them. This is stuff that needs to be dry cleaned. This is garbage, whatever it may be, right? So you need a couple of things to sort into, or piles on the floor with Post-its. Very, very important. So you're going to do that sort, and you're going to see how easy the sort comes. And people think, I don't know my categories. I don't know what I like. Pay attention to yourself. Listen to yourself. You'll see it. You'll go, oh, okay, that's Nancy's coat, and that was the last time she visited. I got to give that back to her. Okay, that goes in the pile of other people's stuff. And then you see, oh, I don't even like that. That's not in style anymore. Donate. Oh, I love this jacket. It's great. Has a stain. Dry clean. Your piles are going to happen. And then you're going to say, yeah, this jacket stays, that jacket stays, that jacket stays. Okay, great. And you're going to make that pile. Take it out of the closet, though. Don't just leave it. You're going to take it and nicely put it on a couch, on a floor, you could spread out a sheet so everything's nice and clean, and put things on a sheet. It's whatever you have. Or if you're working in your bedroom, the bed, or if you're working in the kitchen, a clean counter. Make sure you have a clean surface to put things on, and it'll be so much easier. So that sort is going to happen quicker than you think. But every time you come up with a new category, use a Post-it, use a marker, and you put that down, you put that category down. So now you don't have to rethink, did I make that category already? Which pile is which? Because things once you see your things in piles, you can be overwhelmed if it's not labeled properly. But once it's labeled properly, there's no reason to be overwhelmed, because you know exactly what you're doing, right? Simple as that. So, so now, how do we know if we keep something? That's another big question that everybody asks. And sometimes some of us let go of things too quickly, right? And then you go, oh, I shouldn't have let that go, but you were so over it, you just wanted to throw it all out. And other people say, oh, no, I need to hold on to that. No, someone gave me that. No, I hate it. I don't like it. I never use it. I wish I never had it, but I feel bad throwing it out. Okay, that's where this comes in to boundaries, right? We need our boundaries. And with that, you need to know that your space is sacred. The space that you have is the same space you have in your mind. This is very, very sacred space. So you don't need to be cluttering it up with guilt, with sadness, with anger, with confusion of any type, right? Because these are the things, these are the different emotions that we feel with our stuff. Every single piece of paper, every single piece of anything in our home, we have an emotion about. Even if you say, oh, I don't care. Well, that's your emotion. You don't care about it. It's fine. But, you know, every single thing, how many of us have something in our closet that we purchased and we never wore or we never used, right? We were going to, it was on sale. It looked great. I'm going to lose the 5 pounds. I'm going to get into it. And it's still sitting there, right? I'm sure a lot of you have that. I know I have, all right? None of us are perfect. We all have that great intention for things, but then life happens, things get in the way, we forget about them, it gets cluttered, things are, it's pushed to the back, you don't even know you have it. So these are the times when we're doing this sort, you have to be really mindful and really truthful to yourself. You want to know, what is this worth to me? Does it make me angry? Get it out. Does it make me sad that I gained 10 pounds and I don't fit into it anymore? Or I wore that when I was dating that guy and, he broke my heart and it reminds me of him? Get it out. You don't need it. It's not serving you. Everything in your home should be serving a purpose for you. Even if it's just a knickknack. If the purpose is every time I look at that knickknack, it reminds me of someone special, makes me feel good, makes me feel happy, of a happy time, then that is the purpose it serves. It serves happiness. Or some things are just like a frying pan. Well, it serves to cook my meal, right? But if my frying pan is missing a handle, or, I have one of those nonstick pans and everything's ripped up on it and it's really just not cooking my food healthy anymore, because now those little bits of metal could be getting into my food. Well, that's not good for you. That needs to go. So we need to know how to get rid of things. You get rid of anything that is broken that cannot be fixed. If it can be fixed, you need to get it fixed. And that goes in the get it fixed pile. And if you don't think realistically you are ever going to get it fixed, then if it's something someone else can fix, maybe you can donate it. If not, get rid of it. The one thing I do not want you to do is say, I know my granddaughter could fix it and use it, right? How many people have done that? Oh, my niece, oh, my granddaughter, my son, my daughter, my husband, someone could use it, because you're just taking your clutter and now giving it to someone else. And now they have something that if they don't want, now they have guilt attached to that, and it's going to sit in their closet and clutter them up. And we don't want to do that to anyone. We want to make everyone feel good. So does it work? Is it broken? Does it have a good or a bad emotion? You know the things you need to keep. Should function well, serve a purpose, look presentable in some way, and make you feel good about it. Those are the things. That's all you need. If it makes you feel bad, if it's broken, if it is in such poor condition, and if it's in such poor condition, you say, but it's the only one I have right now, well, then you keep a notepad with you, and everything you need to replace, write it down. And, and there's so many ways to replace things these days. Things don't have to be brand new. You don't have to buy the most expensive things. Things come in all different variable prices. So, it's fine. You can replace things. Don't leave it as your only way. And sometimes the only way to replace something we desperately need is to throw out the thing that's not serving us anymore. Because once it's gone, we go, now I have to get it, right? So it pushes us to do something like that. All right. So now we have gotten rid of everything that is broken. We have gotten rid of everything that made us feel horrible. Everything that our mother-in-law has given us, or our mom, or our dad, that we went, why did they give me this ugly thing? I hate it. They obviously don't know my taste, right? We move it on, and it's okay to move it on. Do not feel guilty. You are doing a wonderful thing for yourself by giving yourself this gift, all right, of a better life. Don't attach guilt to it. And if you're attaching guilt to it, call me. I will help you walk through that, because I'm telling you, I'm the queen of, nope, I'm not going to be guilty about it. Can't. You just, life's too short for that. And also, in addressing things with guilt is also addressing when a loved one passes away. Very hard to get rid of things. So hard. I know, I've been there. And you want to hold on to everything. No, that was their toothbrush. No, that was their this, that was their that. This is what I say with that. If it gives you a good, warm, loving memory, keep it. If it was the funniest toothbrush you ever saw, and every time you see it, it makes you laugh, then keep it next to your toothbrush. But if it is something that is a reminder of the loss, that you don't need. All right, that is not healthy for you. That will keep you stuck in a place of not moving on, and it's very damaging. So you don't want that. That's guilt, that's sadness, that is not what a loved one would have wanted for us, right? So it's okay to move things on. It's okay to move on their clothes and their belongings. It hurts, but it's okay. All right, so I want you to know that you're not being a bad wife, mother, brother, father, nephew, niece. You're not being a bad person by doing that. So we have to move those things on. And of course, with saying that, we all inherit things that is, china and furniture and things like that. And we don't know how to get rid of all that stuff. Those are things that can be moved on to, whether it be that you sell them, you give them away. It's okay. You can find a new home for these things. Just don't make anyone else take it that doesn't want it, because then it clutters them up. All right. So now we have left what we want, right? In my coat closet, I have left my shoes that I run in and out of with all the time, a couple of scarves, I have my umbrellas, I have gloves, I have hats, I have my jackets. I have a bag of shopping bags, because that's where I like to keep my bags, right? Because we always need to grab one. But I pare them down, I make sure they're not overflowing, and I put them in one big bag, and they're fine. So now what do I need for that? So now we need to assign a home for things, because if I just throw it all back in there, it's not going to work. Maybe I need a shoe rack on the bottom, because I have a lot of shoes, but I need 2 layers, right? Maybe I put up a little, there's so many different hooks and things we can use. I put up 2 hooks so I can hang my umbrellas, right? I have my bag of bags. They're all in each other, so they're good. And if my hangers are no good, I get new hangers, those big, clunky wooden ones that are curved are the worst hangers. They take up a lot of space, and they're just, unless you have them all like that, they just don't fit into each other. It's okay to move them on. People are like, but they're a good hanger. All right, then donate it, but don't keep it in there. It's not serving a purpose. It's actually making it worse for you in your closet, right? So some people like the velvety flocked hangers. I think they're great. I really do, but they don't work for everyone. And I find they especially don't work for men. And it's funny but I always ask this of women and men whenever I'm working with them, especially in a closet. I say, how do you pull your shirt off of a hanger? And they're like, what? That's the stupidest question I've ever heard, right? So I say, how do you do it? And, some people say, oh, I get it down and then I take it off. Okay. Almost so many times I've heard men go, I just pull it off. Well, if you pull it off one of those velvet hangers, and I say, how many of those hangers have you broken? And they're like, oh yeah, I break a lot of hangers, because it's the wrong hanger. They need something that it glides off of, right? And that's when a plastic hanger might work, or a metal hanger, or a wooden hanger. All of those work too. But the velvety flocked ones are purposely velvety so that things don't slide off. So if you're the type of person that's going to reach down and take something off, that's great. It's great for little strappy things, dresses, whatever. But if you're the kind of person who's going to pull it, it's going to snap the hanger. It's not going to work for you. So that's why there are so many things to organize with. The world's our oyster, right? We have so many different ways we can organize. And that's what makes an organizing system unique for you, right? Because what do you prefer? You don't have to do what everybody else is doing. You don't have to do what you see on, the new Netflix series of organizing. And I love watching those series. They're great. There's so many great organizers out there, and they have so many brilliant ideas, and I love it. But what works for a celebrity may not work the same in your home, and that's okay. And maybe it would, but you have to find out what you like, what serves your best purpose. So you really have to ask yourself a lot of questions. How do I reach for something? If you're organizing your clothes closet, what do I have work clothes versus, weekend clothes? Do I like to hang my jeans? How do you put things back, right? Like, for instance, if you're doing a clothes closet, some people love to hang their jeans. Other people work better with all shelves. My husband, for instance, his t-shirts are not in a drawer because he has so many of them. He loves his t-shirts. He loves his concert t-shirts. He likes funny t-shirts, t-shirt kind of guy. His t-shirts are all on shelves in stacks, right? That's what we do, because then he can thumb through and say, oh, I want that one. And he grabs it out and he wears it. But if it was in a drawer, he wouldn't be able to see. And then he'd be pulling things out, and then things are everywhere. And he doesn't have enough closet space to be hanging every t-shirt. That would be nice too, but he's not going to hang it. So what's the best way? He'll fold his clothes and he puts it on the shelf. That works for him, right? But for me, my t-shirts are in my drawer because that works fine for me, because I don't wear as many like t-shirts like that he does. I'll wear more blouses or sweaters or tank tops or whatever. So you really have to think about how you like things for you. And a great way to do that is also to think of what you like when you've seen other organizing shows or in magazines or in stores, store displays. They're purposely made to be organized so people can view things easily, take things easily without making a mess. Think about how you like it. And if there's a certain way you've seen something in a store, mimic that in your home. Try to make it work. See if that makes you happy. So this is now, the part where we're assigning a home for everything. So that's what we're going to do. And you put everything, you say, okay, now I know, say for me, with my coat closet, say I wanted to keep some sweaters in there, because those are the kind of, even though they're pullover sweaters, they're the sweaters I want when I'm running out of the house. I'm going to grab a sweater. I don't want them in my bedroom. I want them there. And that's okay too, by the way. We don't have to do conventional things the way things were done, the way our grandparents did. That's fine. If I want to put my sweaters in the coat closet and that makes me happy, I'm doing it. There is no rule that says I can't. So all these rules that you may have thought of that you're like, you can't do that there. Why not? If it makes you happy, it's convenient, and you'll put it back and you know where to grab it, it works. So go with it. So say I'm going to put my sweaters up in my closet. Great. But they're, I know they're going to move around and bump into one another and things like that. So how do I contain something like that? So now we're going to go to purchasing things if we don't have them already, right? I might want a bin for my gloves, and I find that I have a nice pretty bin that's lined or something that really works, because if I use a basket, and I love baskets, but if I use a basket and I have woven things like gloves in there, you're going to catch every time in the basket, and that annoys me, right? Doesn't that annoy you? I want to take things out with ease. I don't want to ruin the things that I have. So I would like a lined basket if I'm going to do a basket for something like that. Now, if it was just a basket that I was putting tennis balls in, I wouldn't care. But these are my gloves, and they're, pretty woven gloves, and I don't want pulls on them. So I use a lined basket. So then the other thing for the sweaters, all right, I want to make sure, I have 2 rows of sweaters, and I also have a few handbags up there that, once in a while, or, tote bags or something that I'm going to grab. That's where I want to keep them. But they flop all over the place, and I hate that, and it annoys me, and everything always looks like a mess, and I just can't deal with it, right? So what do I get? I get shelf dividers. They're so easy. You just put them on the shelf. They have them for the wire shelves. They have them for whatever you need. Shelf dividers, so easy. You can get them at Bed Bath & Beyond, the Container Store, Amazon, anywhere, really. And you get a 2-pack of them, they're great. Same thing with the drawers. You can get drawer dividers so that your white socks are separate from your black socks, or your bras are in one way and your underwear is on the other side, or however you want to do it. It just creates a little bit of order so that with your mind, you can put away easily and take it out easily. Whatever system you create for yourself, it has to be maintainable. If it's not easy to maintain, you're not going to maintain it. I know that, there was one organizer who folds shirts a certain way, and she has them almost filed standing up. And that is awesome. I love the way that looks. I think it looks beautiful. And if you're okay and having the time to fold, that is going to work fantastic for you. But if you're not going to fold it like that, then that system is going to go wrong really quick, really, really quick, because it's going to look beautiful that one time you do it, that one time you organize it. Next time you do laundry, you're going to have no time to do the laundry. You're going to be rushing. And you're like, I am not folding it that way. You're going to fold it your own way and shove it in the drawer and then push it all in the drawer so it really, really fits and shove it in. And then it's not going to work, right? Too many shirts for the drawer. So then that system doesn't work for you. So sometimes we need to see how a system works for a little bit. And you have to maintain your organizing systems. If you don't, that's basically what spring cleaning is, right? It's maintenance. It's maintaining. If you don't clean out your gutters, it's going to overflow with stuff, and then water won't be able to get down, and it'll come into your house at some point. If you don't mow your grass, it's going to get high, and then it's going to be so hard to cut in hours of work instead of a little bit every week. Same goes with any organizing system you have. Doesn't mean you have to do it. Some things we do have to address a little bit every week. Our mail, our email, things like that. Some things once a month, some things once a year, it depends. But the maintenance is a big part of it. And if you see when you're doing your maintenance that it is still frustrating, then that particular system that you're trying to use isn't quite working. You have to tweak it a little, and we have to figure out what would make it better. How can I do this better? What's frustrating me about it? Take out a pen and paper and be honest. And what is frustrating me about this? What don't I like? What do I like? And then sometimes you might find, I don't have enough space. I don't have enough time to put it back. I hate the color of that container. This, simple things can set us off. That's why when I am with a client, it is like a therapy session. It really, really is. It's asking a lot of questions. It's trying to find out what makes them tick, what things they like, what things annoy them. And sometimes we go through things, and also, we go through things and we find out, really what the heart of the matter is. And I can't tell you how many sessions I have had where people have cried. Not because I made them cry, but because they were releasing something. They were getting to the heart of the matter of why something is not working the way it is. And I've kept all those things locked away because no one ever knows what happens between me and a client. But, when you really open up and be very truthful with yourself, that's when you find the answers. It really is. We all have the answers. We can all do this. It seems hard. It's time consuming. It's not hard. It's especially not hard if you get yourself a glass of water, soda, coffee, lemonade, whatever you want. I would save drinking till the end, because if you start drinking, you may not finish. Put on some music, something that lifts you up, something that keeps you going, and start tackling things. So if you're doing a room, if you're doing a whole room, I would say start one corner at a time, one wall at a time. If it's really like, one subject in that room at a time, whether it be, a bookcase, a filing cabinet, a closet. You can't imagine that you're going to tackle everything in one day. or one sitting, because life happens all the time around us, right? The phone is going to ring. Someone's going to come home. You're going to get hungry. It's going to be dinner time. You have to try to keep all distractions away, block out some time for yourself, like you would a doctor's appointment, right? That's important. Your health is important. This is your health. I'm sorry, I'm making my whole thing shake. I'm Italian. I do that. So, but this is your health. This is so important to have a healthy mind and a healthy balance in your home. So don't ignore it. Block out the time. Tell people in your home, I'm working on this for a couple of hours. Do whatever you need to do by yourself. Don't bother me if your head isn't on fire, don't come in. And I also want to mention, I almost forgot. So the way I set up when I'm doing a session with someone or organizing anything in my own home, right? I do my thing, I do my sort, I contain everything. Labeling, huge, need to label. If I know my gloves are in a little basket, I can see it, but I don't have to write gloves. But if I'm, doing certain things on a shelf in, say, linen closet, I'm going to want to know, what are my king size sheets? What are my twin size sheets? What are my, that's really important for you to remember, because especially, I don't know about everybody else, but with me, I need to know that, so that when I'm folding them and putting them away after doing the wash, I know where they go back. Because when I'm changing the sheets, I don't want to be in my bedroom trying to change a sheet and realize it's my kid's sheet. It's just, you want to just do what you have to do, get the task done, and move on with your day. So labeling, super important. And it also reminds us, what the task is, especially like if you're at your desk and, just don't write, to do. Well, that's how our to-do piles are like, you can't even see how high my hand goes, right? Because our to-do piles forever go on. But today, if you write do today, and then underneath, do next week, underneath that, like in 3 tiers, do, whenever, a spare time, I don't know, but you know what I mean? Like, you have to make your categories really realistic. Don't generalize too much, or you're going to get stuck in that problem where you're not getting it all done. All right. Now, the other thing I do when I am done organizing, I always have one bin, box, or something, even if it was a pile, then I stick it in a bin or something, of things that need to go to other rooms. How many times have you been organizing something and you go, why is there a spoon in my bedroom? I don't need a spoon in here. Let me take it to the kitchen. You go to the kitchen and you put the spoon in, then you see a pile of dishes. And then you go, oh, God, no one does the dishes in the house but me. So you start doing the dishes. And then after that, you realize you're hungry. You start making yourself something to eat. You do something else. So a phone call happens, and all of a sudden, now you're going back to your original project. You look at it and you go, I don't even want to bother with it. And you push everything back in and you don't touch it, because you were zigzagging, right? Oh, I have to go here. Oh, this is my son's. Let me take it up to his room quick. Oh, his room's a mess, and you get overwhelmed and overwhelmed and overwhelmed. You need to focus on one thing. So if there's anything in the space that you were organizing that does not belong there, put it aside, and not until you are finished for that session, for that hour, for that couple of hours, whatever you're doing, not until you are finished do you take that bin and now deliver things to rooms around the house. Drop the spoon in the kitchen, drop, my son's t-shirt in his room, my daughter's shoe in her room. Then I put it back, and I put it back as best as it can be in that room. If it's a dirty spoon, I'm going to put it in the dishwasher or the sink. If it's a clean shirt of my son's, I'm going to fold it really quick and put it in his drawer. I'm not just going to leave it on his dresser. I'm not going to just leave it on his bed, right? Because then that'll end up on the floor, and then I'll have more wash to do, and I just can't handle all that, right? So be mindful of where you put it back, but don't feel you now have to attack that pile, because if you do, it is going to be a never-ending loop of frustration for you. You'll get to that. You'll get to that. That's another project. That's another day. Because once you get on your organizing kick, it is it's a little bit of a high. It's a little exhilarating to know, oh my God, this looks so good and it works so good and it makes me feel good. I want to do this everywhere in my house, one space at a time. Don't overwhelm yourself. Don't expect more. Paper is going to take longer than you ever expected. So if you're redoing files, don't give up on it. Just, just know that maybe that's something you have to chew off an hour or two at a time. And it might take you a couple of times to go back to it. Make sure it's really done, because that, there are some things that you're going to have instant gratification from. I do a linen closet. It looks beautiful, right? Every towel's folded perfectly, every little sheet, everything looks so good. And it makes me just happy, right? But a coat closet, it's going to look good. It's going to make me happy. But now I'm going to see all different jackets, and it makes me happy, but not as much as the linen closet. That looks perfect. Everything's the same colors. So some things you'll get more enjoyment and really good satisfaction out of, and other things you will be satisfied, but paper, like I said, just takes a little longer. Don't get discouraged. It's all going to be satisfying when you have a spot for it. You can find it. You're going to save time. You're going to save money. You're going to save frustration. You're going to have a happier life, right? Which means a happier family, less frustration, more money to do things with, more time to be together and enjoy friends and places and people and things. So it all starts with your home. Your home is your sacred space. And I'm going to open it up. So if you have any questions, you can ask me. But before we do that, I just want to say, remember also the law of attraction. If you are not familiar with the law of attraction, look it up. It's the intentions we put out. It's what we say, we attract like a magnet, right? So if we're saying, I hate my house, I hate my house, I hate my house, it's like the universe hears you say, oh yeah, you're going to hate your house. No, it's perfect. Hate your house. That's good. Because the universe, in a way, or whatever you want to call it, does not know a wish from something that you don't like, right? So if you hear that, if it hears, I'm sick, you're going to stay sick. But if you say, I'm going to get through it, I'm going to be healthy, I'm healthy, I know I can do this, it's going to come to you. You can do it. You will do it. You will feel better. You will get better. If you say, oh my God, there's going to be bills in the mail today, there will be bills in the mail. If you say, there are going to be checks, I want to see checks. Checks are coming in the mail. See what happens. You'll be surprised. So the law of attraction also works with us. And just be kind to yourself. We're doing the best we can. So remember to stay positive, talk positive words out of your mouth, and things will happen, and you'll see it, and you'll feel so much lighter and better. And you're going to have a great year and years to come. So you'll be able to handle anything that comes your way. So it's good. All right. So if you want to open your mics, if you have any questions, I'd be glad to take some questions.
I have a question.
Yes, Teresa.
What do you recommend for wrapping paper and bows and, all that kind of stuff?
Oh, sure. Well, there are different containers that are out there if you would like to purchase one, and they're fantastic. So there's different ones. I personally have a stand-up, it's like a hard plastic container, because for all those long rolls of wrapping paper.
Yeah.
And it's great. It keeps it. Now, the funny thing is it had a lid that goes on it, and in the lid was another little pop-up lid where you could put tape and scissors or ribbon or whatever you wanted. That lid never worked, because I get the gigantic things of wrapping paper and it's too tall and I can't put the lid on. So I threw the lid out. I recycled the lid. Okay. And instead, next to it, I have a bin. And in that bin is tape, scissors, gift tags, gift bags, wrapping paper, any tissue paper maybe or whatever. So I put all the wrapping paper in there. But if you look on Amazon and you look up wrapping paper, containers. There's some really big, long zip up ones, and they have separate pockets for those things I'm talking about. So say we just went through the holidays, right? Christmas and Hanukkah. If you want, you get one of those just for that holiday. And you put all your wrapping papers in there. Keep the tape in there. It's not going to go bad. Keep an extra pair of scissors, all your gift tags, and put it away with your, decorations. But for me, I keep it in a certain closet, and I know exactly anytime I need any kind of bag, tag, anything, it's there. And when the kids tell me they need tape or scissors, I don't tell them that it's in there. I have extras somewhere else. Don't take my tape and scissors out of that, because it's frustrating when you're trying to wrap something, you can't find what you need. And we always have to do it like last second. So
Right. Okay, that's great. Thank you.
good, you're welcome. Anybody else with a question? No more questions? That's fine. Well, if anybody does have any questions for me, you can also email me. I can give the email to the library, or I'll say it right now if you want to write it down. It's Kristi, Kristi, and the name of my company is Calm and Contained. So it's Kristi at CalmandContained.com. So it's Kristi at calmandcontained.com. And if you have questions for me, please feel free to email me. Just remind me where, how we met. You saw the, you saw this class at the Port Jeff Library.
Thank you so much, Kristi. That was a very informative presentation.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure. I really enjoyed it. I miss not being able to be with everybody in person, because I love the back and forth and the questions, and we get so many good ideas, and everybody usually helps everybody out too, which is a lot of fun. But this was fantastic.